My name is Raymond Yusuff from the Critics Company. I am a VFX artist, editor, and cinematographer. I am also the present team lead at the Critics Company. Every film we make has a specific goal attached to it, and it varies for every project. Sometimes it could be us learning something new, that is, experimenting with new fields we have not experimented with before. Sometimes it could be us creating content so we inspire people to be able to do the same. And also, one important goal for us is to be able to speak about societal problems for a particular project that we're working on. We were introduced to watching movies at an early age, and we started from like watching cartoons to actual movies. The Disney movies were movies we began with, like Cinderella, Meeting the Robinsons, Mickey Mouse, and so many more. Then we started watching movies like Inspector Gadget, Spider-Man, Terminator, and so many more. We got to see these films through free-to-air satellites in Nigeria, yeah, and also we could watch them through DVDs that we bought from pirated DVD shops. What took us from watching films to creating them was boredom, and on this certain day we had no electricity, so instead of looking at ourselves from morning to night, I and my brother shared a certain skill we had learnt on our phone from a friend called Pause and Play with Godwin and Victor. So we went into the compound, picked up wrappers and dressed up ourselves and tried recreating a scene from a series called Attila, based on Attila the Hun. When we began filming ourselves recreating periodic dramas in our compound, on this day we had to actually do this 24 years later thing, and we had no idea of what editing was at that point in time. So Godwin gets like this carton and he writes like 24 years later and we film it, and that was like our own DIY way of editing, even though we were not able to join those clips. That transitioned into us like using phones to shoot. The first phone that we started shooting on was a Samsung GT smartphone, and I actually got that phone for my grandpa, and the phone the phone got missing. The crazy story about the phone is that there was an editing software on that particular phone that we had to go miles to go collect from a particular friend of ours in school, and that was our first contact with editing. After the phone got missing, my dad had this laptop that was lying around, and I tried convincing my dad to help us with that laptop. Now, when we got that laptop, we actually spent more time playing games instead of being productive with it. Then my dad comes like threatening me specifically that if he catches us playing game with this laptop again, he's going to seize it. Now, that was like a inspiration for me to actually just start taking what we were doing serious, and I started like researching on like ways to actually improve our filmmaking. Now we had no phone camera at the time, so learning VFX, you needed footages that you could actually learn VFX with. So what we shot on was the computer's webcam, and I was the only one at home. I had graduated from secondary school. I had not gotten admission into university yet, and my brothers had like gone to school, and I have to wait like 5 p.m. before they come back, and we shoot something on the webcam and try recreating a VFX shot from that webcam. Now, that transitioned to when my dad got a phone, and my dad, being not familiar with all these Android phones, passed it down to us occasionally, and that was what we used to shoot like our first official short film that we're proud of and we put online. Before now, we always spend time together, and during this time we discuss about movies. So we come up with ideas and immediately we just go shoot these ideas. But presently the process for us is to start brainstorming, and after brainstorming a lot of ideas are thrown around. So we filter these ideas looking for the most feasible one based on the cost, the VFX load, the intricacies of the production and can we achieve them at this particular moment. If a project meets up to those criteria, we go shoot that particular project. But sometimes we don't because we get overwhelmed with so much work and we just have to resort to. We have attained a certain reputation for ourselves, but that amounts to a little percentage of a goal we have set for ourselves. So every morning we wake up and we remind ourselves of that goal, which actually inspires us to create more because that's been the main reason why we started this in the first place. Because of this certain reputation, we have created some projects that we did not like, we're not proud of, and we termed them as bad. But we just put them out just to see what people think. But in the end, people like them, yeah? Or people, some people are just keeping their reactions to their mind, wondering what's going on. But yeah, we know they are bad sometimes too. The reaction of our community has been positive, beginning from like our friends like looking at us differently and surprised that what we started doing as a joke has become something quite massive. The king of our village where we stay, Kudende, invited us to his palace and he expressed his thoughts on how proud he was of us and how he wants us to keep making films and doing stuff that brings recognition to our community and our country as a whole. Even in our state, we got recognized by our governor, who invited us to the government house, and he had a conversation with us, and he supported us with his words. And also in our country, we have the enormous support of our mentor, Kemi Adetiba, who actually was the birth to this recognition, and she's we owe a lot to her and we respect her. Also internationally, to people like Franklin Leona, J.J. Abrams, Ava, Olivia Wilde, and so many more. I mean, this community have reacted to our work positively, and it's actually quite inspiring for us, and it's one of the best things that could ever happen to us because we've done a lot of things, and never, ever did we think, even if we thought we were going to get popular, that our work would get seen by these people. So it does mean a lot to us. Now, our relationship with Nollywood is a quite weird one. We are sort of in that loop where it's like we're between Hollywood and Nollywood, and we're not really in any place. Even though we're Nigerians, we're not like really affiliated with Nollywood. We do not have like close contacts with so many people in Nollywood. We have got contacted, we have met, and we have like close relationships with like major directors in Nollywood like Nia Akim Olayan and Kemi Adetiba, um, and so many people that have shared their support towards us and all. Now, Nollywood is a very big industry, and VFX isn't something that's quite common, so it's actually hard for us to transition into this specific industry. We've also had support from people like Omotala Jalade, who is a well-renowned actor in Nollywood and all. Yeah. The J.J. Abrams and Franklin story, it's a very interesting one. And I remember in August 2019, when news of our work went viral, I think Franklin CC'd JJ, and JJ retweeted our work. JJ isn't someone who tweets so often on Twitter. So if you actually go on his Twitter page, I think if you just scroll down a little bit, you'll see like his tweets about us, and it has a special place in our hearts. um, he expressed his support and his willingness to meet us in the tweet, and yeah, Franklin actually reached out to us and asked us like what do we need, what equipment do we think we might need that might move us forward in creating quality content, and we sent a list. And well, he told us that okay, he was going to keep us in close contact, and he linked us up with Kate from Bad Robots Production, who actually tried getting this package to us. Now, where we stay in Nigeria, Kaduna, it's really quite hard to get packages over to us here, because once it comes from the abroad, you have to pay like custom duties. You have to like search the package, which I think it happens in every international shipping process, and it has to come all the way from Lagos to Kaduna. And well, it wasn't, that did not happen as easy as I just explained it now. So it took, surprisingly, because of all the intricacies involved. I think it was shipped through sea because of how large the package was. I think it was 400 and something lbs, no, 200 and something pounds, and it took almost a year to actually get to us. And when it finally did, it was one of the best things that ever happened to us. We were all in high spirits, and it was crazy because never ever did we see this in our widest realities happening. And also the thought of no excuses actually hit us, because at this point it's like we have almost everything. So what is our excuse not to create anymore? We got on a video call with JJ Abrams, Franklin, and Kate, and when I look back at that video call, I'm like, well, it's happening, it's a dream, it's our reality, and we're actually living it. So it's a very important part of our lives that none of us will ever forget. A few months ago, the thought of us making a movie never crossed our heads until about 2 months ago, and we realized, well, this is something we could do, and it's also like a learning experience for us. So we set it as a goal for us to actually create our own full feature, and presently we are like at the pre-production stage of this project, and we hope to begin shooting this project like really soon. We've been asked this question 1,000 times by young filmmakers like us, and my reply for everyone is the tool to creating is within your possession. If you do not have a phone or even a webcam, a friend might have. So don't be afraid to collaborate with that person to create. Now, for those who have a phone and feel like the quality of a phone might not give them the best results, do not be worried about the tool, but rather the final product itself. Go out and shoot with your phone and invest more in your skill, your editing skill, your filmmaking skill, so you can create the best films possible. For us, because we know this problem exists, we have Netflix cameras in our possessions, but we still shoot with our phones, and this problem inspired us to want to create our first full feature with a smartphone. So, what's your excuse? Once again, my name is Raymond Yusuff. I am a VFX artist, cinematographer, editor, and the present team lead of the Critics Company. I hope you enjoyed my talk, and this is our story.